Alright, here we go with a quick rundown on how to do fast lighting setups for Maya Mental Ray. First, of course, download the Mental Ray, install it, and turn it on in your plugin settings. Then, you can set up a camera. I've got one here set up to use as a straight shot in there, and I've got it set up with panels, camera 1 here. I probably should name that too, and it's using the view camera settings gate mask, which is currently set up for an HD 720 setup. Pretty straightforward. We have no need to worry about any of this. This is for, I'll go into it when we go talk about render setups. The quality here is kind of the big deal. So you want to set it to Mental Ray, which I already have it set to, and adjust the quality. I have set up some lights, some pretty straightforward area lights. Alright, I'm not sure about this one here, so I'm going to go ahead, let's not speculate, and just leave a diffuse up on it. That's the rim light. And I have a really thin running main light up here, mostly because this is a continuation of a prior video where I had already set up a bunch of render bits. So let's turn this a little bit here. Alright, because that's what my camera's going to be looking at. This ball I just added in to give some shadow and a little bit more perspective setups. It's not really set up yet for any sort of UVs, so that gives it some slight issues. But essentially, we go in, I've got a blend set up on it, like we talked about in a previous episode. And I've gone into quality here, and I've kicked it up to a 0.5. I have advanced settings showing. I've moved this up to a filter. I think a Lansco or Mitchell would be fine. I'm going to do a Lansco, Lansco filter. That just gives it more. None of these are all going to be fine for now. You don't really need to do much. I upped the overall quality to 0.5. They streamlined quite a bit of it. There's a lot of legacy options if you really want to get into more depth of things. But you don't really need to. I mean, the final gather, for example, could probably make it a lot nicer. But for now, we've got these settings already on, and you can turn final gather on in here. But at this moment, the quality and everything that's going on doesn't really require the final gather turn on, so I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to kind of swap all these on and come in here and let's go for a render and see what we get. Now the thing is, this is going to be it's a nicer lower quality quick render setup. I'm going to adjust the camera so I can see a little bit more of that. The shadow down here is very loose, but I think an occlusion map will probably help, which I'll talk about in another video. So that's like a quick 20-second render. Let's adjust this camera so we can get a little more interesting stuff going on. I also feel like this could use a we could use like a nice extra fill light, so I'm just going to duplicate this one. Come over here, move it around, and duplicate it, and maybe put another one over here. Let's see what that does. Oh, let's adjust the color on those though. Let's make it more of a just sort of light. Put that on up there. Now let's give it another render, and we'll go to camera, and let's give it another go and see what we get, because I want to kind of fill in some of those dark edges around the base. See, the normal map's working really well in here. Really giving us a lot of detail and feel, which is great. It's working really well on the base floor here too. There's the computer chugging away. Not sure if this added much. What do we got now? 23 seconds? Let's try turning the intensity up a bit. Oh, that's right. I put it to a decay rate. So actually, all three of these base lights, these rim lights, have a decay because it just generates a nice sort of soft fall off. But I probably don't need it with these two. I could probably set this to no decay. And no shadow either. And put that down to like a 0.1. Let's see what that does. I think 0.1 is a bit. Now let's give it another render and see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and just select a chunk. And by drawing a selection and hitting the render region up here, you can get a quicker sort of selection. Yeah. Okay, so it's starting to fill up that a lot more now. I like that. Let's try a full render. I don't know if I'll like it on the other side. Maybe I should leave the other side a little darker. Yeah, that other light's just sort of confusing the issue, so let's kill that one. I like it kind of dark over here, it's kind of cool. So let's do that again, but I like that, what it's doing for it. It's getting a nice fill in. Wish this wasn't so stark right here. But that's because of the thinness of my light that I'm using. I could probably widen that. And I probably should. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Panel perspective. That will change that up a fair amount. It should. And we'll just take a slice even. Ooh. Too much. Too much. So now the main light is way overpowering. Cubic. We're going to give it some decay rate now that we're changing things. That'll be too dark probably. Yeah, because it's too far away. So let's do a cubic with a 100 setup. I can probably go to a 200. This is why you want these little selection slivers. You can just hit areas and keep going up. 300. This decay rate is the highest decay rate, so things are going to fall off a lot faster. Something set right next to it would be incredibly lit, but by the time it gets here, it's a lot less. Let's go ahead and do a full-on render here. It's not fully lighting the object, and in fact, normally I would recommend, if you're going to do something like just rendering like some kind of gun or object because you want to display it, go with no decay. But for this, it's cool. It makes for a very kind of thematic setup. Like the light slowly fades as it moves further away, so the edges end up. It's only 29 seconds, and you get this kind of really cool, gritty little scene going on. You know. Since we're doing this, might as well go in here and fully adjust this light setup. So, going to shrink it. I'm going to shrink it here. I'm going to go to no decay because I really want to kind of show this off. And we'll run it so that it kind of has a slight angling. And so you can see that this render here has much more of a thematic kind of feel to it, which is cool. But we're gonna adjust this, set this down to like a 0.2, no decay, and watch the difference. It's gonna be quite a significant difference. I'm just gonna sample a bit through here. Yeah, let's sample that. Pretty bright. Pretty bright. 0.1. It's because it's an area light, so it's essentially putting out 0.1 across the entire area of the light. Let's do a full render just to see where the shadow's falling. We'll give a better idea. I like that though. I like that sort of fall off around the edge. Yep, there you go. That would give a pretty good view. You got cool shadowing in here. You could get rid of that by increasing the size of it, but this right here sends a nice bit of lighting that really shows off the scene with a bit of dramatic lighting. But you can get rid of that by just sort of adjusting the light so it's a little bigger and fills up more of this area, this backlight here. I think for what it is, this works really well though. It just shows off a lot of different ways the area light can work and how you can adjust the intensities with decay rate or without to kind of get a nice lighting and really push these spec and normal maps that are on here very nicely, actually. Look at that. A lot of lit up feel here, but back here you're seeing just the darkness of the cracks. It's working really well. And that's how you can get like a really quick, simple lighting setup with mental ray. It takes a little bit of work, more so than just hitting a click button, but it looks pretty good. So that's what you want to kind of go for.